Hey, friends, heard about the Sahara? It's not just sand but a real treasure for researchers. This desert has swallowed entire armies since ancient times as if they were just grains of sand. The latest discoveries have left scientists in awe. What made scientists gasp? Discover the secrets of the sandy giant. So what did they uncover that made the entire scientific community gasp? In this video you will find out what treasures and secrets this sand giant hides. That could change our understanding of history and nature. Let's dive in and figure out what's really going on. In 1965, astronauts aboard the Gemini 4 spacecraft spotted an amazing object. It was a ring-shaped structure with a diameter of about 31 miles. Scientists estimate that this structure is billions of years old, but the nature of its origin remains unknown. This object is called the Eye of the Desert, and there are several hypotheses regarding its origin. It's believed that the ring could have formed due to the impact of an ancient meteorite. However, there isn't enough evidence to support this theory. No traces of an impact were found in the rocks, and the meteorite crater has yet to be located. According to some hypotheses, the formation of the structure could have occurred due to volcanic activity. However, the shape of the object does not match the standard characteristics of volcanic structures, which raises doubts. Scientists suggest that the appearance of the ring structure is caused by the process of soil erosion. They believe that similar formations on Earth could have arisen from prolonged surface degradation. Nevertheless, the origin of the object remains unknown, unexplained. A ring found in the Sahara Desert continues to attract the attention of researchers. Mystery unsolved. Satellite tech reveals hidden aspects. Thanks to the development of satellite technology, researchers have been able to see hidden aspects of nature, inaccessible to humans. In 2010, they discovered over 100 ancient fortifications built by the Garamantes people in Libya. The period from the 2nd century BC until the 7th century AD. This region was thoroughly studied during the exploration of areas for oil extraction, and archaeologists were able to analyze satellite images, identifying the distinctive features of the structures. Expeditions aimed at studying these objects had to be interrupted due to the political instability in Libya caused by the overthrow of Muammar Gaddafi. It has been confirmed that the structures were indeed built by the Garamantes. During their time of prosperity, this area experienced a severe drought, and they created a system of underground channels that supplied water to the old reservoirs. When the springs dried up, the fields were covered with sand, and the Sahara buried the ruins of cities and fortresses underground. Paleontologist Paul Sereno discovered giant fossils in Gobero. 6.5 feet, finding corresponding fossil remains in the Gobero area. About 10,000 years ago, the Sahara was filled with water and life, and the people known as the Scythians were drawn to a large lake where food could always be found. The Scythian culture, judging by the reconstructions, was characterized by well-developed muscles and tall stature. This culture disappeared about 8,000 years ago, when Africa was experiencing yet another drought. Between the 4th and 6th millennia BC, in the NATO region, it seems there was another civilization that could navigate by the stars. The local tribes were able to establish a connection between the movement of the stars and organize their economic activities. Archaeologists discovered a megalithic structure built about 1,000 years before the famous Stonehenge, which, according to experts, reflects the constellation Orion. One of the mysteries that still attracts scientists. This is a unique glassy rock of a yellow-green hue, known as Libyan glass, found in various parts of the Sahara. It is striking with its translucence and unusual structure, which can be found in different parts of the Sahara. In the most unexpected places in the desert, including dunes made of solid sandy mass mixed with translucent elements. This rock was also found in tombs, for example in the tomb of Tutankhamun, where it was used to create jewelry such as the pharaoh's breastplate adorned with precious stones, at the center of which was a piece carved from Libyan glass. Scarab beetle. The origin of Libyan glass remains a mystery. There are two main hypotheses. According to the first hypothesis, Libyan glass was formed as a result of a meteorite collision with the Earth. However, this theory is not scientifically confirmed, as there is no evidence that the found samples are the result of a meteorite impact. The second hypothesis suggests that Libyan glass was formed as a result of lightning strikes. This version is more plausible, considering that the surface of the Sahara is subjected to constant electrical discharges due to the vast area of the desert and the extreme temperature fluctuations. Research by scientists has shown that rivers once flowed through the Sahara. One piece of evidence for this is the channel of an ancient river in Mauritania, which can be seen using satellites. The Tamanrasset River, more than 310 miles long and once carrying water into the Atlantic Ocean, can be easily seen from space images. It is believed that the river dried up about 5,000 years ago, and now only thin outlines remain in its place. Earth faces space attacks. Most burn up safely, leaving night sky streaks. Few hit ground, causing damage, leaving only traces in the form of bright streaks in the night sky. Only a few of them reached the ground and caused serious damage. An example is the Kamal crater in southwestern Egypt, which has a width of 148 feet. This crater was created about 5,000 years ago, when a powerful iron meteorite struck. Fragments of the meteorite itself, shattered by the terrible impact with the Earth, were found scattered across the sand at the Kamal crater. Similar findings can be found in other places, especially in the deserts of the Sahara, where traces of past meteorite impacts have been preserved. It's been a long time since not only rivers flowed through the territory of modern-day Sahara, but also a vast ocean. It stretched there. This is supported by findings from scientists who discovered fossils of ancient whales in the sands of the desert. In addition, near these remains, teeth of large sharks were found, as well as fragments of skeletons of giant turtles and crocodiles. This further supports the existence of an ancient ocean where the current Sahara is located. The horses are the only waterways hidden beneath the endless sands of the Sahara. For many thousands of years, the area that was once part of a vast ocean has turned into one of the driest places on the planet. In the Egyptian Wadi al-Hitan, traces of the ancient Tethys Ocean have been preserved. This area, known as the Valley of Whales, is considered one of the best places to search for fossil remains of cetaceans. About 37 million years ago, the ancestors of modern whales died in the seas, and their bodies gradually became covered with thick layers of sediment. Over time, the Earth's crust rose, turning their former underwater habitat into land. Today, paleontologists are studying fossilized skeletons up to 49 feet long, as well as the remains of other marine inhabitants that lived with the whales. Teeth of giant sharks were found near the bones of the whales. The sea has long been home to mysterious and dangerous creatures. One of them is the Machamosaurus rex, a crocodile measuring 29 feet long, that lived about 120 million years ago in the territory of the modern Sahara Desert. This is the largest known Machamosaurus. Crocodiles. The Machamosaurus lived in a vast lagoon that stretched out to the Tethys Ocean. In these waters, it hunted sea turtles and fish, and it could also feed on the carcasses of larger creatures. It seems paradoxical that so many remains of marine life have been found in the Sahara. But in reality, the desert is extremely inhospitable to living beings. However, it provides ideal conditions for the preservation of fossil remains. Scientists often make amazing discoveries right beneath their feet, while exploring this inhospitable terrain. Continuing the theme of amazing marine discoveries made in desert areas, we can't overlook the Spinosaurus, the largest carnivorous dinosaur ever found by scientists. Living around 95 million years ago, the Spinosaurus reached a height of about 23 feet and a length of 52 feet, which significantly exceeded the size of the famous Tyrannosaurus rex. The appearance of the Spinosaurus was radically different from that of its more famous relatives. On the back of this giant rose an impressive sail made of bone, and its anatomical features puzzled researchers for a long time. Today, the Spinosaurus is recognized as the only known semi-aquatic dinosaur. Although the original remains of this creature were lost during World War II, it was only in 2014 that new fossil specimens were discovered in Morocco, allowing researchers to study this species in detail. One of the pieces of evidence for the Spinosaurus's partially aquatic life is its long, flat limbs, which are perfectly suited for swimming, as well as the position of its nostrils. High on its snout, it allowed it to breathe, completely submerged in the water. Perhaps the appearance of this huge sail above the water's surface would have terrified the inhabitants of ancient water bodies. Just like today, the sight of a shark fin scares us. On June 28, 1942, Sergeant Dennis Copping was piloting a damaged P-40 Kitty Hawk aircraft heading to a British base in the desert for repairs. However, somewhere in the middle of the route, it disappeared without a trace. It was only after 7 decades, in 2012, that the wreckage of the plane was accidentally discovered by an oil worker. Despite spending many years in the harsh conditions of the desert, the plane turned out to be relatively intact, and it was transported to the El Alamein Museum for restoration. However, no traces of Sergeant Dennis Copping himself were found. His mysterious disappearance remains one of the unsolved mysteries of the Sahara. In 1953, English geologists discovered an underground water reservoir. The water is sufficient to provide drinking water for many. At about 1,640 feet, they discovered a huge underground water reservoir that had formed over thousands of years. The supplies of water can supply drinking water to half the continent's population. This treasure is the Nubian aquifer, suffering from its scarcity. This natural treasure was named the Nubian aquifer. In the 1970s, these groundwaters began to be actively used to supply drinking water to populated areas in Libya, experiencing a severe shortage of water resources. In 1983, Muammar Gaddafi initiated a large-scale engineering and construction project that later became known as the Eighth Wonder of the World. He invested $33 billion in creating a complex system of pipelines and aqueducts consisting of more than approximately 1,300 deep wells, each reaching a depth of over 1,500 feet. This system was named the Great Man-Made River. Since 1996, it has been supplying 229 million cubic feet of drinking water daily to settlements in desert regions and coastal areas. Thanks to this project, agricultural lands have emerged in the desert. Libya. Thanks to this project, agricultural lands emerged in the desert. Agriculture began to develop. However, the civil war in 2011 led to the destruction of the pipeline network, which significantly complicated access to water resources. The Sahara Desert, whose name translates to land where sand predominates, is actually made up of various natural components, such as rocky slabs, mountains, plains with salt flats, and areas where plants grow. About 75% of the area consists of sandy layers, while the remaining 25% is a mix of rocks and long stretches covered with plants and swamps. Historically, this area was a green zone, covered with rich vegetation and fertile soils. The ancient rivers that cut through the territory supported ecosystem stability, baking, moisture, and nutrition for various species of animals. Over time, this land underwent climate changes, particularly due to fluctuations in the Mesozoic era, which led to changes in the tilt of the Earth's axis and a sharp drop in temperatures in the northern latitudes. This shift caused a significant decrease in precipitation, drying up rivers and turning the area into a desert. The droughts that swept across the Sahara destroyed the former wet zones, leaving behind only dry sand and rocks. Right now, the desert is suffering from constant winds that contribute to the formation of dune structures, as well as destructive processes, such as the destruction of rock formations and the formation of sandy covers. Wind currents and the subsequent growth of plants lead to the gradual formation of new landscapes. However, they are unlikely to restore the former fertile land, especially under conditions of constant moisture shortage and high temperature fluctuations. But not only rivers and lakes have disappeared beneath the sands of the Sahara. What was once an ocean in Wadi al-Hitan has become one of the driest places on Earth, burying the skeletons of whales beneath its sands. A multitude of mysteries and secrets that humanity desperately tries to unravel are hidden in these sands. Lost civilizations, ancient artifacts, and mysterious ruins from thousands of years ago have been hidden from sight beneath the shifting sands of the Sahara. Among the sands lie deposits of oil, gas, various ores, uranium, and gold. All of this makes the desert a place full of amazing discoveries and unexpected finds. Who knows how much more unexplored is hidden beneath its sands, and will there be answers to all these questions in the future? But in my proposal, friends, there's nothing mysterious. You have a unique opportunity to become part of our team. If you have video editing skills, you can voice over videos in Russian, English, and other languages, or write interesting scripts. We would be happy to work with you. Message our Telegram bot. The link is in the description. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.